What's up guys, SkittleRampage here. So today I want to talk about a couple Grail Funko Pops that have crashed in value. So let's check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. So today we have more trending Funko Pop news. But this is our downtrend series where we talk about pops that have gone down in value. And we have lots of grails to go over today that have fell from grace. As always, if you guys would like to contribute and help me do these videos a little bit faster, drop a comment down below of a Funko Pop you've noticed going up or down in value, whether it's in your collection or if you don't own it. And I also want to say a big thank you to everybody who did submit something on Instagram and here on YouTube. Jumping into things, our first selection today is Nick Morton from the Mummy line. So check this one out. Probably one of the craziest drops on our list today. At estimated value of $90, you can see where it just fell off a cliff from that $350 to $400 range. You have sales as low as $30 up to $50, and then current listings around the $60 to $80 range. So the big question here, why did this pop crash so much in value? A big reason being there are a lot of fakes of this pop, so people just buying up those fakes get sales confused, people start selling theirs for less, so on and so forth. But at the same time, there's also not really a lot of hype around this pop. If you don't know the story about this pop, it's actually a pop from Tom Cruise's The Mummy movie. It was modeled after him, it was supposed to release, however, it ended up being recalled and canceled due to his likeness being used in a figure, and he didn't like that. He didn't want that to happen, so Funko had to pull them all back. So whatever stock was out there, and that's why this shot up to $300–400 for a long time. However, obviously now, it's much lower than that. I think it's fair to say that this one could definitely gain some value again in the future, given he doesn't let his likeness be used for a lot of merchandise. So this is like one of few things out there. Moving on, we do have a Scooby-Doo selection, and that is Scrappy Doo here. So Scrappy Doo actually recently shot up to $140 in estimated value from the $100 to $120 range. But recent sales show him more around $80 to almost $100, and then current listings are around that same price. So I wouldn't say he's necessarily around $140, there must have just been one high sale. Everything else in sales and data is indicating that he's around the $80 to $100 range. I think if they ever decide to do something else with Scrappy Doo in the future, he could definitely have a chance to go back up. Next year, we do have a few different anime selections in today's video. So firstly here, the first appearance Calendars Go exclusive Goku here. This one was actually a pretty interesting pop here. So as you can see on the chart here, last year, this one reached as high as almost $120 in value at one point. And recent sales show it anywhere from $40 to $70 plus. Current listings around $40 to $60 as well. This one does have two sticker variations. It has the Calendars Go one as well as the special edition one. The special edition one sells for around 30 to 40-ish. And as you can see, this one's selling for around, 40 to 60. And on that chart, you can see roughly in the last 6 months that this one has fell from the 100+ range down to 75, and then now down to the 60 range. The reason this one's pretty interesting is because out of nowhere, it just decided to be scarce. There were barely any on eBay and Mercari, none really for sale, so the ones that were for sale, people were shooting up in value like crazy. And then eventually, we started getting overseas restocks for $30 on Amazon. And then everybody had an alternative, so once all those were bought up and flooded into the market, nobody was really buying the official sticker anymore, and that's my best guess as to why this one started going down, because there was such an abundance of special edition stickers. Moving on, speaking of Dragon Ball, we do have the ECCC exclusive Vegeta eating noodles here, the shared sticker. So for the shared sticker, estimated value currently on Pop Price Guide says around $90. You can see in the last few months that it shot up from that $50 to $60 range, though recent sales do have it anywhere from $30 to $50, and then current listings do match that as well. There are a couple high listings around $60 to $70, but I will say there are plenty of listings around $40 that you can get this one for. So this one basically kind of halved in the last few months, and I think it's due to the fact that there's a lot of fakes of these. And that's a majority of what's happening with plenty of the pops we're going to talk about in today's video. Those fakes are killer to the market. And what's interesting is that you'd think once Funko partnered with eBay, they would do more. Like eBay would be doing more to get rid of that counterfeit product. They basically own a portion of Funko since they invested so much money in it, and they don't do anything about the counterfeit items of your own product. It's the weirdest thing. They're not doing anything about it. They promised to do something about it, but they're not doing anything. Next here, a rather unique anime set that I feel like not a lot of people talk about is the Ouran High School Host Club set. So in that set, we do have Haruhi here, which is an older common, estimated value around $75. Recent sales with some damaged ones mixed in. I wanted to take that into account. We had one as low as $35, which I do believe is damaged, and then as high as $70. Recent sales are around the same, around $70 to $80 range. So this one was actually pushing 100 plus at one point, lowered down to that $75 range that you just saw on the chart there. But it was over $100. However, if you remember in the last year, they actually released a brand new version of Haruhi in her dress over at Hot Topic, which I do feel was the value killer for the original one because this was a $12 one versus a $100 plus pop, you know? I won't lie, I did kind of think it was going to have the opposite effect with Haruhi where it was going to make the original one go up even more because more people would have wanted to collect, you know, Haruhi in the school uniform. But as you can tell, she's been on a little bit of a downtrend. I think she was the only one affected in the set though. The other two original Grails should be good. For my One Piece fans, we have Usus Kid, and he is in yet another downtrend video. So, estimated value around $60. You can see just the crazy chart he's had with the shared sticker where he was pushing 200 plus at one point. You can see it slowly went down, dipped down to $100, shot back up a little bit to the 120, almost 140 range. And then here we are in present day around $60. Recent sales are matching that around $40 to $70. And then current listings matching that as well. So three things kind of happen with Kid here. One, there are fake versions of this, so as we talked about earlier, fakes are always killing value. Two, Pop Culture put out a mystery box with Usus Kid for a very attractive price with a couple other pops in it. And when those mystery boxes finally shipped, all that stock came over here. And then people started undercutting each other, and that's how you saw the price fell. And not only that, then you had your smaller retailers get in stock from overseas, where overseas usually the stock is much more abundant and there's plenty to go around. So they got in the stock over here, and places like Chow's Collectibles was selling it for $50, $60 as well. Now the con sticker variation, it's not as high as it used to be. I didn't want to include it in this one because it's still hovering around the $200 to $300 range because it's a little bit harder to find with that official sticker. But yeah, the shared sticker is just done. I expected it to go around $40 to $60 for a long time now. Our final anime one today comes from Death Note, and we have Ryuk here. So Ryuk here's estimated value around $90. You can actually see, not too long ago, just a couple months, it was around the $140 to $160 range, and it did come tumbling down. You can see recent sales all around $100 mostly, and then current listings you do have around the $100 mark too, with some really high sales around the kind of like 120 to 180 mark as well. You know, some people are just going to list it really high in hopes that somebody buys it. My best guess with the Death Note set is that there's just not really a lot of hype around this set right now. It's kind of the same with My Hero Academia or Boruto, for example. There's not hype around the set to where it's going crazy in value, where everybody's after them and there's a scarcity of the market. And match that with all the fake variations of each character, and you start seeing the values plummet, you start seeing people undercut each other, unfortunately. I think at this point they would have to do something with Death Note or make something new with it to make these pops spike again. Or Funko would have to get the license again and make more characters to kind of revive the interest in this line. So in my honest opinion for the Death Note set right now, I think it's a great time to buy this set. If you're missing it and you're after it and you really want it in your collection, I think you can get some really good prices. Just make sure they're real, of course, do your research. Obviously, I have plenty of, real versus fake guides on the channel here. You can look to those for, tips and tricks, but yeah, make sure to do your research if you are after these. The final one we have to go over today is the Bane from the Dark Knight Rises set. So, Bane here, estimated value around $190. You can definitely see it's fluctuated a lot in its lifetime. Though recent sales, with some damaged ones kind of mixed in, I looked at a lot of different listings, but they've been more so around the $75 to $120-ish range. And then you do have some higher listings at the same time as well. But I will say, he's definitely not around the $190 mark right now. I would say he's more around $120 to $150 maybe. I think what happened with Bane here is that the new NFT version came out and it's much better and people prefer that one over this one, so nobody's really after this one anymore. Well guys, those are all the selections that we have for today's video. Let me know in the comments below, are you after any of the grails that we just showcased in today's video? Or do you own any of these and is it a little bit of a bummer that they are going down in value? Now one more note I would like to make is that I've actually gotten a lot lot of comments and like messages of asking people like, how do I feel about all these grails going down in value? How do I feel like, you know, is there still a high amount of interest in Funko, or do I feel that the interest has kind of gone down? I think it's hit or miss. I think specifically with the grails and everything, the shift that Funko's currently making and the kind of like limitedness they're trying to bring back to the hobby, I think it's just the market correcting itself. That's like the best way I can put this, is that there's not as many resellers hyping up these exclusives. There's not as many people just standing in line to flip these, you know, $12 pops for $50, $60 on Mercari anymore. And I think it's just a collectible hobby genuinely trying to correct itself. And specifically with Funko's state right now as a company, I think these next 2 years are just like the time that they have to get it together. They have to really lock down and they have to figure something out to get people's interest back in, because with all of the overused molds and all the disappointment they've brought from Comic Cons and things like that, I think people are just tired right now. And I think people do still want to buy Pops. I think they're just tired of Funko putting out crappy stuff. And not to get too political with things, but if you look at the current state of our economy as well, people just can't afford to buy as much as they could before. And that has a big thing to do with it as well. And at the end of the day, food on the table and taking care of your family is way more important than these plastic figures. Now guys, I do have lots more thoughts on the whole state of Funko and everything like that, but I figured this was the perfect video to kind of talk about that, where, you know, we're noticing a lot of these big, crazy grails start to decline in value, and tons of other pops. But at the same time, I do want to let you guys know that I'm doing uptrend videos too. There's plenty of pops that are going up in value. There's plenty of pops that are going down in value. This happens all the time. You can literally look at Funko Pops like the stock market with how much they go up and down. I'm not saying you should invest in Funko Pops specifically. I'm just saying it is kind of like its own little mini stock market. Things are going to go up. Things are going to go down. People are going to get out of the hobby. People are going to join the hobby. So that's just my light opinion on the matter. If you guys would like to see a full video on how I feel about everything, I can totally make that happen. If not, no big deal, but a lot of people have been asking, so I wanted to give you guys something. Anyways, this video ended up being longer than I wanted it to be. I do want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you did enjoy, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. I do want to say a big shout out to all the wonderful Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys are amazing for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys are interested and want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon-only Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocks, updates, links, and more. And lastly, make sure to follow me on all my social medias at SkittleRampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page, so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.